Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're jumping headfirst into those critical, heart-pounding moments of an emergency. We're going to look at how the right knowledge can take a situation from pure chaos to total control, how you can turn panic into a solid plan. Just imagine it for a second. That blaring alarm, right? That weird smell you can't quite place. It's that instant jolt of adrenaline and confusion. Your mind is just racing. What do I do? Which way do I go? That feeling, that initial chaos, is exactly what emergency plans are built to overcome. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll talk about those critical first few moments. Then, we're going to tackle two totally different kinds of threats: how to fight a fire and what to do about invisible dangers, like a chemical leak. And finally, we'll tie it all together with the most important piece of the puzzle, the mindset you need when you're under pressure.
All right, part one, when the alarm sounds. You know, these first moments, they aren't just about moving fast. They're about making the right calls when absolutely everything is on the line.
This is something every single first responder lives by. It's a huge deal. What happens, or what doesn't happen in those first 5 minutes, can be the difference between a small incident and a total catastrophe. It's why all that technical training isn't just about what to do, but about doing it right away, almost like it's second nature. So, let's jump into our first specific scenario and see how this works in practice. Fighting a fire. I mean, it's one of the oldest dangers we've ever faced, and the science behind stopping it is, well, pretty fundamental. Now, it's really important we get this distinction right. You've got fire safety on one hand. That's all the stuff you do before there's a problem. You know, having clear exits, doing inspections. It's proactive. Then you have firefighting. That's the reactive part. That's when you're grabbing an extinguisher and actually dealing with the flames. One stops the fire from ever starting. The other is all about what you do once it's here.
Okay, so this is the secret weapon in firefighting, the fire triangle. It's brilliant. See, a fire absolutely needs three things to survive: heat, fuel, and oxygen. The entire strategy for putting out a fire is just to remove one of those three things. That's it. You pour water on it, you take away the heat. You use a foam extinguisher, you cut off the oxygen. You clear away flammable stuff, you remove the fuel. It's that simple, in theory. And it's exactly why there are different extinguishers for different fires. You wouldn't use water on an electrical fire, right? It's all about knowing which side of that triangle to attack.
And that question right there leads us to a whole new kind of challenge. I mean, a fire is terrifying for sure, but you can see it. You feel the heat, you see the smoke. But some of the most dangerous emergencies out there are completely invisible. And for those, you need a totally different playbook. So that brings us to our third section, dealing with chemical emergencies. In this case, the danger isn't a bright, hot flame. It's a substance that can be silent, toxic, and spread in ways that are really, really hard to track. Let's just get a clear definition here. A chemical hazard is basically any substance that has the potential to cause harm if it gets out. And that word potential is everything. The stuff in the container is fine. The danger only begins once it's released into the environment where you are. And this is where that specific technical knowledge becomes so critical. Just look at this table. If you've got a toxic gas leak, the main danger is in the air you're breathing. So what do? You get people out, you get fresh air in, and you stop the leak. But a chemical spill? The danger there is direct contact. It's contamination on surfaces. So the response is totally different. You have to isolate the area so it can't spread, absorb the spill, and then neutralize it. See? Two different chemical threats, two completely different plans of attack. All of this brings us to our final and, honestly, probably our most important section. We've talked about flames and fumes, but now let's talk about the one thing that connects every single successful response: the human brain under extreme pressure. Just think about that for a second. You can have the fanciest gear, the best equipment in the world, but if you don't have a clear, practiced plan, it's all useless. The plan, just knowing what to do, when to do it, and in what order, that's what takes all that chaotic, panicked energy and channels it into focused, effective action. It's the single most powerful tool you have.
So what does that plan look like when you boil it down? Well, it really comes down to these universal principles. First, assess. Don't just rush in. Take a second to understand what you're up against. Second, follow the protocol. It's there for a very good reason. Third, safety first, your own and everyone else's. And last, communicate. Clear, calm instructions save lives. And you know what? These rules apply to everything. A fire, a spill, any crisis you can imagine.
I really want to leave you with this quote. It's from an ancient Greek poet, Archilochus, and it just nails the whole idea of emergency response. It's not about being some kind of spontaneous hero. It's about the hard work, the drills, the muscle memory you build from training over and over again. When things go sideways, you don't magically rise to the occasion. You just do what you've practiced. You sink to the level of your training.
And that really brings us right to the heart of it, doesn't it? Because a response plan isn't just something for a professional rescue team, it's for all of us. Having the knowledge of what to do can transform you from being a bystander into being the first line of defense. Preparedness, it's not just a nice idea, it's what gives you control when everything else feels out of control. So the only question left is, are you prepared?